Happy Halloween. Welcome to Hop on Pop Culture. I'm your host, Ashley Dion, and I apologize for the color of my hair. If you get that reference, you get 10 cool points, and that's a hint. Today I'm going to be listing for you my favorite horror movies of all time. I'm going to place a little bit of emphasis on more modern ones because I'm just more prone to watching more modern movies than classics. But that doesn't mean that they're better, because for the most part they aren't. But I'm going to start with The Shining. To me, The Shining is a near-perfect horror movie. The only thing that I would change would be the casting of Danny, because that kid was just a little goon who couldn't act. In fact, I almost did a close-up of my face shaking with drool coming down, because I believe, unfortunately, that I have a similar haircut to him in that film. And I just decided against it, so you've been spared. Be grateful. In general, though, I do appreciate Stephen King adaptations to film. Carrie is another of my favorites. I also really like the screenplay that he wrote that became a miniseries, Storm of the Century. That is probably my favorite Stephen King, and that is probably the only one that gave me nightmares, and to me that means it's good. So check that one out if you haven't seen it. Amityville Horror is another classic horror film that I really enjoy. The remake is probably almost as good, not as good, but you gotta weigh it because there is a shirtless Ryan Reynolds in the newer one. I mean, James Brolin was good looking back then too, but I don't think he takes his shirt off, so. Moving on to The Stepfather, which I believe was made in 1987. That is my favorite horror movie of all time. It's funny, it's bloody, it's creepy, it's brilliant. Check it out if you haven't seen it. The remake does not exist. As much as I like Dylan Walsh, the remake does not exist. Check out the Terry O'Quinn version. As far as horror movies that are kind of funny, or that are meant to be really funny, Lost Boys is one of my favorites. Scream is one of my favorites. In fact, that is the movie that made me a movie geek. It wasn't some drama that I would love to say it was, like American Beauty. It was Scream. Also, Suck, which is a newer film, was recently released on DVD. It's a Canadian film, so Dave Foley is in it, some other Canadian actors. There are also cameos by Alice Cooper, Moby, as well as Iggy Pop. So check out Suck. It is funny, and if you like rock music, I think you'll really enjoy it. The Strangers is probably my favorite modern horror film. Whoever the music supervisor was in that film, someone called Susan Kent, I would like to marry because I think it's perfect. It's just wonderful the way the music was done. Obsessed with the entire soundtrack, really. The writing was good. It's a short film, I think it's like 88 minutes, but they made you care about these characters. They knew exactly how much background to give you to make you feel for these characters, and you do. The acting is good. You have great performances by Scott Speedman and Liv Tyler, as well as whoever the crazy masked murderers were. So if you haven't seen The Strangers, I highly recommend it. I saw it in the theater, and I was scared, but I watch it like twice a week now. Funny Games is pretty much the torture part of The Strangers, just drawn out. The acting is really good, and the writing is just, it's funny and it's sick at the same time. Just check it out, whether it's the original version or the US one, because it's a shot-for-shot remake. Carriers, great cast, great writing, feels like a drama when you're watching it, so you definitely care about these characters. When I say great cast, though, just take out Chris Pine from that. Guy's got a horrible speaking voice. I can't even imagine, like, listening to him. If he, like, lived at your house, it'd be like, you want to kill yourself. Douchebag in the movie, so it kind of works. So check out Carriers. I know I really sold it just then. Darkness with Anna Paquin. Very, very good. Lena Olin is also in it. It's a good cast, good acting all around. Definitely a creepy movie. Dark Water with Jennifer Connelly. It's sad, but I think it's good when a horror movie can move you. So check out Dark Water. The Ruins, Jenna Malone, a couple other good actors in it. It's kind of based on religion or mythology, but it's interesting, and although I've heard the book is better, it's a good horror movie. Wolfman, Emily Blunt, Hugo Weaving, Benicio del Toro, Anthony Hopkins. Great cast, great writing, great acting, horrible CG. But if you can get past that, because you should be able to, because the writing and the acting are that good, do it, because it's worth watching. Windchill. Again, Emily Blunt, Ashton Holmes, and Martin Donovan. Martin Donovan's super creepy in it. The other two do a great job. It's a horror movie that's based on a philosophical ideal. It's very unique, very original, and definitely worth checking out because you're not going to see another horror movie like this. Vacancy. Vacancy was an attempt at being Psycho for our generation. I don't really like Psycho, but I like this. I think it's better than Psycho. You've got Kate Beckinsale and Luke Wilson doing a really good job. You've got Frank Welly and Ethan Embry being really super creepy, and it's just well written. So check that one out. Although I would have liked to have gotten into psychological thrillers, my favorites being probably Seven, Dead Calm, Silence of the Lambs, that sort of thing, Frailty. You know, you can't really do that. I'm focused on horror, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I hope that you'll check out the movies that you have not seen yet. I hope that you enjoy the ones that you have seen on the list and aren't saying, "Oh God, you like that? You're an idiot." But these are the ones that I like for whatever reason. And I hope that you have a very happy Halloween and that you're able to check out some of these films. It's Ashley Dion for Hop on Pop Culture.